Hello everyone, welcome back to SharePoint All. In this video I'm going to be talking about Vuetify again. In my last video I talked about using Vuetify with SharePoint, and we created this panel that you see right here, this expansion panel, this component. In this video I'm going to be going through how to use the Datatables component. So let's go, because Datatables is always a popular one to use. So if we go to Datatables, here's the Datatables. So here's the Datatables. So we're just gonna go over, and I'm gonna kind of show you. I haven't done this yet, but we're gonna go over the steps of my mentality of how I look at this stuff and how I transform it into how I integrate it with SharePoint. So I just usually just open it up in CodePen, and I kind of see what's going on. So here's a data table. I look at the data table. I look at the code, to try to figure out what matches what that I see in the visual here in the actual data table. And I notice that in this instance here, it's returning the data, it's returning these headers. And I notice this text, dessert, left, false, name. And I notice that this text here is the same as this text down here. So those are the headers. So let me come back to that. So I see text, calories, fat. So these texts here match all of these here. And it's saying that the values are calories. So you have that. And then here's the actual data. Now this part is kind of easy to figure out. So it looks, okay, I see. So it looks like, oh, so these values here looks like it matches these values here. So, oh, wait a second. Oh, so this, okay, so name, calories, fat, okay, so it matches these. So these values are referring to the keys that are in this array of objects here. So these basically match the keys. Okay. And these are the actual heading names that's found here. Okay. So let's go look at the prop. The prop should give us a little bit more in Vuetify. So if I go to Vuetify, and let's scroll down to the props. So kind of like, so say the same thing. These props are basically attributes that you add to the tag. So let's see which tag. So the V data table tag. So you add those props here. Where is it? Okay, right here. V data table tag. So headers, items. So let's come back here. So headers, an array of objects that each describe a header column. See the example below for a definition of all the properties. So these are the headers. So let's come back here. Header. So it looks like for this header here, dessert, I keep saying dessert header is saying that it wants to be left aligned, sortable, and the value that it's pointing to is the value that's in the key for the object of arrays, or the array of objects, excuse me. So basically that prop is basically saying use the header. So I can transform this into a provided more details of what I wanted to do. So it looks like sortable. So it's saying that this shouldn't be sortable. So as you notice, each of these other columns are sortable, but this one, the dessert, isn't sortable. So that's what this is. So sortable, aligning to the left, which it aligns it to the left. Okay, I'm kind of seeing what it is now. So let me go back here. Okay. So these are all the props that we can use. So let's move this to SharePoint now. Let me take another look at this. So items, so let me look at items. So items, the array of table rows, items. So it looks like items, array of table rows. So this items oh, okay, I see. It's pointing to this arrays here. And then this class equal to elevation 1. Class Class. Okay, so I don't know what that is. I'm sure it's some type of class that Vue provides. So I'm not sure what the class is. Alright. But I can just Google that later. Okay. So now that we have an idea, so now what we need to do is take this into SharePoint. And so we know that this here needs to be the items from our list. And then we can define each of our headers. We can define it in here. Okay. So let's go to our list. Let me go open it up in the list. I already have I think I have the file. Let me close these out so I don't get confused. So if I come here, web part, let me close out a lot of these windows here. Close the windows. So if I come here, I have my folder created, data table, and then I have my file, which is really just a div. So there's my file, my HTML file. HTML file, just a div, and then let me open up my other file, which is the JavaScript file. This is going to be a long video, so bear with me. Just going to kind of go through my thought process as I am creating these different components, and I'm going to be honest with you, I haven't created this data table in SharePoint yet. So I'm probably going to make a lot of mistakes along the way, but I'm sure you understand. So let me go here. Let me go bring up my data table. I'm just going to copy this tag, vapp tag, copy, and I'm going to come in here and I'm just going to paste it in here. Paste. All right. So let me tab that in just a little bit. Okay, there we go. So that's that. Okay, so now let's go to my JavaScript. So I have my view here. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to say, let me show you the list first. I'm just going to use the same list, this announcement list. So it's going to be my expansion list. I'm just going to use this list. So expansion list. So so what I'm going to do, create my data, and then within my data I'm going to just call it let's just say data table. I'm going to call that array. So when I call when I get the data from my list, I'm just going to dump everything into my data table, and then this data table will be the items, and I'll change that later. So let's just call it data table now. So items is going to be pointing to data table, which are the items that comes from my list. So let me come back here. So data table, and so now, okay, let's see. Let me call my methods. So I'm going to have a methods, and I'm going to say get lists data, and then what I'm going to do is kind of like what I did for my expansion video, and I'm just going to grab the code from my expansion video. Just grab the code and use that and just kind of change it up a little bit. Well, we don't have to change too much. So copy. So paste. So there you have it. So I have my endpoint URL to SharePoint. Get all the items from my expansion list. If you need to add filters, you can go ahead and add your filters if you wanted to. But I'm just bringing back all the items. VM equal to this. I explained this in my previous video. So get the endpoint URL data. If it's a success, then spit out the response and then dump it into instead of expansion like my last video, I'm going to just say data table. So response.data value, dump it all into my data table, and that's it. Okay, I don't know if this is going to work or not. So let's go back to the HTML and see what we need to modify. So, oh yeah, this stuff here. So all we're doing though is we're just bringing back, let's say 3 items. So Let me see. We're going to prop items, props.item.name. Okay. So this item is basically pointing to this item series, which is my data table. And then it loops through. So I'm going to say prop items. Let me go to my expansion list. Let me go to my list. Where's my list? Okay, so title, details, and keep. Title, details, keep. So let me go back here. And I'm going to say title, details, keep. I don't need this one here. So let's save it. Let me go to my file. Where is it at? Let's go to the site pages here. I think I have a Datatables. Did I create one yet? Okay, here it is. Datatables. I've already created a web part and dumped it on the page. Added it to the page. It's refreshing here. See, waiting for available socket. Let me do F12 to see if I have get any errors. So nothing is showing. Let me refresh the page again. So let's go back. So nothing's showing really. Let me go back. Ah, that's why. So I'm missing some. The view library is not there. So let me come in here. You remember I was telling you last time. Let me open this up. So I gotta make sure. Let me see what this has. So in the CSS, okay, gotta make sure these CSS is there. I don't have a reference to the library. That's why it's not working. Let me look at the JavaScript. I gotta make sure all these are there. Polyfill. So I'm just gonna go to my last video that I created, the expansion panel, and I'm gonna grab those and bring it over. So let me come here. So do this. I'm gonna bring over Axios as well. Copy. Let me look at that again. Okay, there's a polyfill. Okay, so let me come here. Okay, so I need to dump that in there like that. So that's what it's asking for. Those are all the libraries. I think I need one more called the polyfill. I added this one here, promise, only because sometimes in IE it doesn't work with ES6, so I leave that promise in there so it can work in the IE browser, because I think I believe I'm using Chrome, so I am using Chrome. So I'm just gonna copy this here, copy, paste. And the reason I'm doing that is because I need this polyfill here. So I'm just going to copy the polyfill and go back to my file. And I'm just going to paste that in here. Paste, save. And let's see if this works or not. Okay, let me just refresh the page. Okay, still nothing. So okay, let me do this just to make sure that my view is working. So test. Hello there. Save. And then let me come in here, and I'm gonna say right here, test, save. Let's just make sure our view is working. Refresh. Okay, so it's not working. As you can see, it's not translating to the actual hello there. So let's go back and see what is going on. Why aren't you working? I'm probably doing something silly. So ID equal to app. ID is equal to app. Let me go to my JS file. L pointing to the app. What is going on? Pointing to the app. So new view. L. Okay, that's right. Data. I'm doing something crazy. Oh, I need a way to call my so create. Remember this lifecycle hook. Let me add that in there, but that shouldn't be the problem. But it is going to give me a problem if I don't add that in there now. So basically what this is saying is once the whole instance is done, then you call this function. Get list data, so it'll call this. Okay, so save. Datatable.js. Let me come down. Let me go to my file and make sure. Now I see. I think I see the problem. So, yeah. Just silly mistake I'm making here. So let me come down here. I need to add a reference to my JS file. So this is gonna be data table and then data table.js. Right? Let me make sure. Data table.js, data table. Okay. So I should get something now. So refresh the page. Okay, I see a bunch of errors. There's my hello there. Here's my data table, but something's wrong. My headers are missing. So I think I'm doing something wrong. So let me see. Headers is not defined on the instance. So, well, we're almost there. Almost. Okay, okay, so now we got to figure out why our headers aren't showing. So let me go back here. Let me go back to my code. Oops, I got too many open. So headers. Let me go back to the Vuetify and see what they did with the headers. So headers is coming from where? Headers. So I don't know if I thought I did. So it's looking for this headers that's in our instance. It's looking for this array that's in our instance. Matter of fact, it's looking for everything. Okay, now I see the problem. Alright, so we have to make sure we define our headers, what these headers are going to be down here. And also if we need to give it any more details of if it we need a line at right, left, if it needs to be sortable value. So let's grab that. I'm going to copy that. Let's go to the JS file. How do I do this? JS file, data. So I think we can put it here. Put it in our data. Okay, let me just change this up a little. I want to call this is let's say announcements. I don't want to put any of this stuff, so let me remove that. And okay, but I want to say value, and I'm going to say, announcement. That's the name of our column. Okay, let me come back here. So announcement, details keep. Details keep. Details keep. Save. Let's see if this works. Let's see what happens. come back. So refresh the page. I'm still getting errors. Headers is not defined on the instance. Headers. Okay, let's come back here. Headers is not defined on the instance. Let me go back to my code. So headers. So headers is not defined on the instance. So let me go back to my pen here and see what's going on. Headers. Oh, I didn't save the file. Oh no, yes I did. Save. I did save the file. Announcement. Refresh the page. There you go. I don't know what happened, but I refreshed it. I did a hard refresh and it worked. And as you can see, all the errors are gone. And as you can see, this is not sorting. This is not sorting. But this it's weird. 5. Okay, we know that's working. But why isn't that sorting? So let's go back, and my keep isn't showing. Okay, let me look at my list real quick to make sure. Sorry, this is taking a little bit longer than I expected with the video. I didn't want it to be this long. So expansion list. I do have values in my keep. Details, title. Let's go back here. Oh, you know what? I think I know what it is. I think. So if I come here, I know this is really title. Let me refresh. It's still not working. So I think what I'm gonna do, I'm not sure why this isn't sorting. We have everything is in there in place. The rows per page, this works. If I cut this down to 5, that works. So I'm not sure why exactly. So this is the only thing that isn't. Oh, wait a second. What was that? Oh, 2. That was weird. So, and even my keep isn't showing. Let me pause the video and come back to you and see what's going on. Okay, so I figured out why the keep wasn't, this column wasn't showing. Remember these items were blank here, and it wasn't showing because when I looked at my list, the internal column name, it was a lowercase k and not a capital K. So I just came in here and I changed it here, and I also changed it in my JavaScript in here. So that part is working. The only part that isn't working, and I'm not quite sure why, is when it comes to sort. Everything working is expected, but the only thing that isn't working is when it comes to sorting. And so what I think I'm going to do is I am going to figure that out and come back to you. This video has gone long enough already. It's about almost 25 minutes. So I'm probably gonna go into a long pause and then come back, or just create another video showing the solution. But anyway, thanks for watching. and see you in the next video. Bye.